Welcome to another episode of Practical Astrology for You. I am your friend Tapan. Today I will be discussing about Saturn. Why Saturn? Because in the Kalpurus horoscope, Saturn is the lord of 10th house and 11th house. So Saturn signifies the karma and it signifies result from karma, means the profit, labh. On top of that, if we see the qualities of Saturn, I consider Saturn being a cold planet, a slow planet, a heavy planet, a far off planet. So what it signifies? Cold means in the emotional sector it's cold. It's opposite of 4th house, means the lord of 4th house is moon, so you can very well assume the characteristics of moon, and just the opposite of that is Saturn. Moon is very lively, vitality, fertility. On the other hand, if we consider Saturn, it is not so much of vitality, it doesn't have any fertility. So when Saturn comes in the 5th house, it delays the childbirth. So you all can understand, it's opposite of 5th means sun, so it's opposite of sun also. So the two planets, moon and sun, if you combine them together, whatever you get, half of the opposite of moon and half of the opposite of sun. That's how I put my logic. My logic are very simple, they are very practical, and I don't take logic from books. I'll take logic from the real life. So it's always easier. Now, like it's drizzling, my favorite season. I think something has happened and there is an environmental change and shift in the polar axes. Something has happened most probably. Otherwise, it's more like monsoon, and even in monsoon, we never get a atmosphere like this. Then it's very humid. It's more of a winter monsoon. So I'm enjoying this weather. There's nothing to worry. If this pattern gets repeated next year also, that means we will take it into assumption that it has shifted. Good or bad, I don't see anything bad until unless I don't get any bad results. The masses don't get a bad result. I always start with a good thing. So when I consider Saturn also, I consider it a good thing. Why? Because everyone has to perform his karmas. Even if he is a rich guy, poor guy, or a middle class family guy, everyone has to perform his karma. Wherever Saturn might be posited in your horoscope, it hardly matters. Like as always, I take my horoscope as a example horoscope. So in my horoscope, Saturn is posited in the 4th house, Cancer sign, Pushya nakshatra. Pushya is the nakshatra of Saturn, coincidentally, and it's posited with Mars nearly about 4 degrees. Mars is about the same degree. They both are in the same degree. So people say Mars and Saturn are being placed in same house doesn't give good results, but for me it's very good because my ascendant lord is Mars and my 8th house lord is also Mars. So Saturn has increased my longevity. Somehow it's helping me, but at other places it delays the results of 10th house, 11th house, 6th house, 1st house, 4th house, because it is casting as drishti on the 3rd house. So the 3rd drishti means the 6th house, the 3rd drishti. So at the aspecting of Saturn with the 3rd drishti, I consider it the most malefic. It harms a lot. So I have seen that I don't have, people try to become my enemy, but they can't harm me. So that shows that Saturn doesn't allow them to sit in the 6th house. It creates a lot of havoc in their life. So 3rd drishti is too, how to say, infectious for other people. It's a boon for me. But 6th house is also the house of debt, house of legal matters, house for diseases, Rog, Rin, Shatru. So, regarding if I fall sick, that takes a lot more time to heal, but it heals. So, Saturn takes care of that thing also. So, if something is good for someone, something will become bad, because these are malefic planets. So, they will have something in maleficness. Means they won't be doing those things smoothly. So that's how. So, and the seventh aspect of Saturn is in the 10th house, the job sector. What would have been my profession? So it delays those things. It was not that I was just after completing my studies. I had done hotel management from Kolkata. I am a 2000 pass out. So after passing out in 2000, I went to Mumbai and started working in Lilavati Hospital. I got that job within 1 month or so. Then I came back to Jabalpur. Then I went back to Delhi, and there I got that job in Wipro Spectramine within, I think, 7 or 14 days. My joining was on 21st. So I went to Delhi on 7th September 2003. So you all can understand how fast I can get a job, but I can't hold on to that job actually. Somehow I always had to leave my jobs. And there was nothing a fault, because Saturn never wanted me to work under, because I say the 6th house as a house of slavery. So when Saturn is casting his third aspect in the 6th house, so he doesn't want me to work under someone. So he creates a lot of problem for me in workplaces. My bosses are not happy with me. As such, my sun is also exalted in my first house. So that's how also I have a problem with my bosses. So Saturn creates a problem. It's not the sun which creates problem. It's the Saturn which creates the problem. And coming back to the main topic about Saturn, what it actually does and what it doesn't do, and why we do and why we shouldn't do, and what we shouldn't do, and what we should do. Because I think most of the astrologers fail to discuss Saturn. So I will be discussing Saturn the way which I prefer to do, because I deal with Rahu, Ketu and Saturn the most. Then if something is left, I will touch the other planets. So the very first thing I would say, even if your Saturn is good or bad, I don't know, if you all can, chant Mahamrityunjay Jap 8,000 times or 8 times into 108 every Saturday. Om Triambakam Yajamaham Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam. So that will be taken care of. Mahamrityunjay Jap. Try to do that. Make it into a routine. That's a Shiva Jap. It's not Saturn Jap. But since Shiva is the deity of Saturn, he is his god. So he preaches Shiva. So we go to him rather than to going to a person who is half-hearted, means cold-hearted person. He won't be listening to your prayers. So it's better not to chant the Bij Mantra of Saturn rather than chant Mahamrityunjay Jap. So that helps much better than chanting a Saturn Bij Mantra. And then the most common remedy which I tell people is to light a diya, means lamp. Either with the lamp should be made out of iron. I use a steel one, and if you you can't afford it, or if you are not getting that thing near you, take a earthen diya, earthen lamp, which we use in Deepavali. Even you can use a second hand diya, that's not problematic for Saturn. An old diya, thrown away diya, you are not getting, take any, even if you get a broken diya, use that one. That doesn't have a problem with Saturn. Pour mustard seed oil, light it in Wednesday, when I light it on Saturday after 8 p.m. in the night. In between 8 to 10 p.m. you should do that. That's the time of when darkness creeps in fully. That time it's the time of Saturn. So light that diya on facing west on your terrace, and if you don't have a pakka house, concrete house, do it on an open space on your courtyard or even if you don't have a courtyard, light it on the street, wherever you feel like. I don't tell people to light that under a people tree, because many people say that light it under the people tree, but it's always nowadays, because of urbanization, it's hard to find a people tree. So I have eased that thing for you. Lighting that diya works. Actually, it worked for me. Within few weeks only it started showing result, because money doesn't comes easily for me. So I do that remedy, and I have seen all my planets are very heavy. When Saturn is giving way after doing such a small remedy, and if a person like me is getting help from that, so it will work for everyone. That's my assumption. And people say you can use till oil, but till oil is too costly and many people won't be getting that also. So my first preference is mustard seed oil, but don't use your normal vegetable oil, because they turn rancid. So Saturn doesn't want something which doesn't have a longevity. Saturn has his own preferences. It prefers iron. Jupiter prefers gold. So you can't equate Saturn with Jupiter, and you can't please the way you please the Jupiter. He likes something which is different from everyone. He likes cold thing. So if you are harsh to him, you are keeping that diya on the terrace, you don't allow him to enter your house, that's fine for him. He doesn't want to enter your house. He himself is cold hearted. He is not interested in your day-to-day affair. He just wants you to work for him. If your horoscope is bad, if your Saturn is bad, if it's placed in 6th house, 2nd house, 1st house, 10th house, you will be working, you will be slogging. On top of that, because since my Saturn is in the 4th house, what we consider in the horoscope, that 4th house is the time when it's midnight. So every planet goes there and sleeps. That's why Mars, which is also a karmic planet, it gets exalted in the 10th house, but it sleeps, it gets debilitated in the 4th house. Though Saturn doesn't sleep, means in the 4th house, it gets debilitated in the 1st house, but still 4th house is not a good house for him. He doesn't want that watery environment. He doesn't like that moon and atmosphere for him, because moon is very emotional. He doesn't like emotional things, so he's not very happy in that place. So he doesn't feel like working also. Even he doesn't feel like giving results also. Many people will be having better results of Saturn if it's not placed in the 4th house. That's for sure, because I know how much my Saturn creates. Means it doesn't like to give anything to me. So that's how I know the significance, because it's not giving me anything. If it would have given me, I wouldn't have any grudges for him. So now that's why I understand the significance. I don't have to work anywhere like a labor. But no one wants a life where you are sitting. I'm not sitting idle. I have a lot of work to do. Every day I have a lot of deadlines to meet. But it's not regarding hard work, labor, because even my Mars is debilitated. So I don't have to fight for anyone also like that physically. I'm not a police person. I'm not an army person. I would have never got a job like that. So those openings never came. So Saturn becomes Badhakesh if it's posited in the 1st house, 2nd house, firstly. So whosoever is having a Saturn in the 1st house, 2nd house, irrespective of the sign, irrespective of the degree, irrespective of anything, well, while considering any other planet, we consider the degree, the house, sign, everything. But Saturn is such a cold planet that wherever it sits, it delays the result of that house, firstly, either good or bad. If it's in a good position, it does that in a good way, but if it is in a bad position, it is very harmful. And even if it is good, it will delay, it will teach you a lesson. Means he will want you to learn from yourself by making your own mistakes, then only he will give you the fruit with your hard work. Because I have seen people with exalted Saturn, and exalted Saturn creates more problem than what other people who might be having a debilitated Saturn. So the malefic planets are much more better if they are debilitated, but not regarding Sun. Even if we consider that as a crude graha, it's not a soft planet like Jupiter and Venus and Mercury, but still if it gets debilitated, a lot many things, because it's the main Atma Karak planet of a horoscope, even if it might be the lord of any house. So I'm not putting that theory in with Sun. I'm just talking about Saturn. So if it's debilitated, it's much better than being having a exalted Saturn, because the maleficness decreases, so you don't have to work a lot. Things come easier to you. Even if you tend, like I have a different type of Saturn, so it's not creating problem for me in any other areas. In every other area it's fine, because in those areas it's not interfering, it's not seeing my ninth house, though it's seeing Jupiter, but that's not an issue. It is not closing my ninth house, so that's fine, because Jupiter can take care of everything if it's powerful. So in that way, you all have to understand, whosoever has a Saturn placed in the first house, second house, he need to take care of that thing first. He will give good results, that's for sure. I have seen a kundli of a person who has an exalted Saturn in the second house with Jupiter, and Jupiter is his 4th house lord and 7th house lord. So he should have constructed a house in the Jupiter Mahadasha, but he couldn't do that because Saturn was delaying the results of Jupiter. So when his Saturn Mahadasha came, he could construct his house. So Saturn gave the result, no? Even if his third Rishi falls in the 4th house, but still he had to fulfill that thing for him, even if that was not under his purview. He was not the lord of the 4th house. Why he constructed that house? Why he let him to construct a house for his own? Because he had denied that result when Jupiter Mahadasha was going. He denied Jupiter to give that result. He can deny that because he is exalted, and that person's Saturn is 0 degree and Jupiter is in 21 degrees. And imagine, it hardly matters how much degree Saturn has and how much degree Jupiter has. He says, when I'm sitting in this house, I won't be letting you to perform your duties. My job is to delay. I will do my job first, let alone what you do or not. I'm not bothered about your job. I'm concerned about my job, no? Wherever he is sitting, he is the boss. Even if Sun is sitting, it hardly matters. I will delay the results. Okay, Sun is sitting, go and get permission from him. It's like the lower staff. If suppose you go into an office and the peon is, the gatekeeper is, they are the Saturn. You enter that office, the gatekeeper says, guard says, I won't be allowing you to enter the office. If you can't enter the office, you won't be meeting the Sun. And you won't be meeting the Sun, so your work won't be completed. But who is interrupting? That Saturn is creating problem for you. So if a person who needs a government job to be done, he need to fulfill the demands of Saturn. You need Saturn. You are not working somewhere. Some work is stuck in a government office, and those people are creating problem because you are not satisfying the greed or need or whatever thing of Saturn. You think what they are not relevant to you. Every planet is relevant to everyone, because at dire situations they create problem for you. When you need them the most, they don't help you. Your under workers were working under you, the laborers, they won't work, they will go on a strike. That shows your Saturn is not good, you are not making it happy. So it's important for the richest of the richest people also. Talk about Adani's horoscope. His Saturn is placed in the 12th house. He is Pisces, and when his Sati started from 17 January 2023, that file came out, and that's Saturn. He started delaying things, his growth. He never thought of making Saturn happy. Now he will understand. So Saturn shows his importance to everyone. He showed that to me. So coming back to the main topic, Saturn is the Karaka of the 6th house, 8th house and 12th house. And on top of that, we also consider Saturn to be the Karaka of 10th house also. That's a separate house. I will be dealing with that in the same video, but separately. I will first discuss about the 6th house, 8th house and 12th house. These are the bad houses. And Saturn is alone the Karaka. In 6th house, it's the Karaka of 6th house along with Mars. But in the 8th house and 12th house, it's the single Karaka. So when we talk about 6th house, I always say, that's a phrase which I use, the house of Dasatva. Means if you want to work under someone, you should have a Saturn placed in the 6th house. That means you will get a job. That's for sure. Irrespective of the Mahadasha is coming or not. He doesn't need a Mahadasha to affect you. He needs just that house to sit. If he is sitting in that house, he will work under someone for his whole life. So then it comes to the 8th house. 8th house is, what to say, our ancestors. Means we see ancestral property from our 8th house, occult science, longevity. So when Saturn is sitting there and solely sitting there, he decides on your death. He is the person who is responsible. No, I don't consider him God. He is the person who decides how long you will live. If you are doing good karmas, you will die peacefully. If you are doing bad karmas, you will die horribly. First thing. And if he wants to punish you more, he will give you long life with sufferings. And if you are doing good karmas, you die peacefully with a long life, if you have other planets well placed. So it decides upon your longevity. The day you will die, Saturn will be responsible for your death, irrespective of who is your 7th house lord, 2nd house lord. These two house lord decides upon your death, but Saturn will be the person who will kill you, because that's his duty, to take your life. He is the Karaka of 8th house. In the 12th house, what it does? It delays moksha. It delays many things of the 12th house, which I won't be discussing. So, people consider things in a different way. I consider in a different way. So, in the 12th house is many things, irrespective of bad pleasure. We don't see every planet sitting there giving bad pleasure. People, okay, 12th house is bad pleasure. Yeah, bad pleasure is, but every time you don't get that. I've seen many people having Saturn placed in 12th house, and they are not person of that stature. Saturn denies that. So he doesn't delay, he denies that. Because when the time approaches to do something, he delays that thing, and after 10 years that is not relevant for that person. So that's how it also denotes world travels and all. So many things. So coming back to the 10th house, if Saturn is in the 10th house, it will give a government job. It will give a job. So Saturn behaves perfectly in 10th house. Though it delays, but it assures a job. Mars assures a job there. Even Jupiter assures a job there. Sun assures a job there. Sometimes Mercury. Sometimes the planet Venus fails there. Moon fails there sometimes. Mercury, Moon, Venus, they are softer planets, so they fail. But Saturn never fails to provide you a job. Every time he will be providing you one or the other job, depending upon the wellness of Saturn, how good it is. Mostly if the planet is well positioned, it fits in its own nakshatra, it creates less problem actually. Like I have, it's in its own nakshatra, so it's not creating a lot of problem for me. And that nakshatra is the best nakshatra of Saturn. The Lord is Brahma, Brihaspati of that nakshatra, Pushya nakshatra. It's a very good nakshatra. So I'm having a softer Saturn. It's not very cruel. So it also varies. If you have suppose someone's Saturn is placed in the Bharani nakshatra, imagine that. How cruel he will be, how cold he will be. Because Bharani itself is a cruel nakshatra. It will give you a lot of pain actually. So the nakshatra is very important. Many astrologers don't consider that. I consider nakshatra to be too important. Otherwise, there won't have been so many complications in astrology, because half the thing is nakshatra. While considering diseases, everything we have to understand. Why 8? Numerologically also Saturn denotes 8 number. That shows his lordship on the 8th house, death. We chant nearly about 8,000 mantras, Mahamrityunjay Jap for Saturn. If someone can do, because people can't do that, it's tough for. But I don't never tell people do a Bij mantra. I don't think that will work. That's my opinion, because I haven't experimented on Saturn mantra ever, so I can't clarify that actually. But I know that Mahamrityunjay Jap will work. But that has a lot many things rituals to follow. Then only you can do that. It's a tough mantra, so it's always forbidden for normal people to do. So I don't go straight away to do that. It's a very good mantra, but it's better not to start without knowing nothing. First know everything, then do that. If you don't know that, don't do that. Have a guru, tell him to teach you how to do Mahamrityunjay Jap chanting, then only you start with that. Because everyone can't come to me. So whosoever is learned near you, contact him. Contact a good person who knows about mantras, chantings and everything, whose pronunciation is too good. Like every word has to be pronounced in the particular way with a particular rhythm. Om has to be pronounced in the better way. Om Trembakam. So the rhythm also is important. It's not that just saying it will work. If you misspell it, it will have a negative impact on you. Don't take Saturn lightly. Now, at the end of the day, I will be talking about the gemstone of Saturn. There are many gemstones. Amethyst is there, Neeli is there, Neelam is there. So, irrespective, depending upon if someone says, okay, wear this gemstone, you should first check the thing. I will say, if it is very well placed, then only wear a Neelam. Because it's the lord of 2 houses. If suppose your 5th house lord is Saturn, means Capricorn, then Aquarius is 6th house, don't wear it. Then your diseases will take a longer time to heal. Without that Neelam also it will work for you. 1st house lord, 2nd house lord, don't wear it. That will delay your work. Many people have 2nd house. You see, 2nd house is your in-laws, and the 8th house is your own relatives. Means my grandfather, my grandfather's property, my father's property, I will see from 8th house. My wife's property I will see from 2nd house. So if Saturn is placed there, you won't be getting a dowry. I assume it. I don't know how much it comes to. It varies from horoscope to horoscope. You can't take that as a thumb rule, but it basically denies a lot. So that's how. And regarding 6th house, 8th house and 12th house, because since they are malefic, means these houses are bad, so if Saturn is placed in these houses, I won't suggest Neelam or amethyst also. After weighing, because without weighing also it will work. And on top of that, if you have Saturn in the 3rd house, it is good for your growth, but it will delay the growth of your younger siblings. They won't be able to grow. That's good for you, and that's good for your bhagya also. When Saturn is sitting in the 3rd house and it's aspecting the 9th house or bhagya house, it won't harm that house actually, even if it's not the lord of that house, because it's checking all the other evils not to harm that house, because he is watching that from his 7th drishti. So you can't harm him. And even if it's sitting in the 9th house, it's good, irrespective of, even if it is not the lord of that house. Wherever Saturn is sitting, he considers that house to be his own house, and he becomes the lord, because his father denied him the kingdom. So wherever he sits, he takes that as own kingdom. He works in that way. You don't have to argue with a Saturn. Have you gone to an office and have you seen the peons, the lower staff, the watchman? It seems like they are the owner of that office. Many times many government work, I have to go to offices, then the lower staff will behave like they are the, oh, I won't sign this. The VC won't sign this, because we run an education school. So we have to go to the government office. The lower staff says, I won't do this job. Okay, I will talk with the officer. He says, okay, no problem. And he will sign, he will put a stamp on that. He himself will do that, and that person, that peon will, and that lower staff will say, no, you need to come next week. That's how they treat, because they think they are the boss of that office. That VC or the chairman, those people are not the boss. That's how Saturn behaves, and you can't change the way they are behaving with you, because they have nothing to lose actually. Saturn has nothing to lose. He doesn't have any reputation anyway. So you have to understand the core theory, thought process of Saturn. Many people argue, I say, don't drink on Saturday. If you are drinking, don't eat non-veg. It's always better not to drink. Even if you are eating non-veg, that's fine, but never drink alcohol on Saturday. Saturn gets annoyed and it pushes you down. So many people argue why poor people are drinking and they are poor, but the rich people, they are drinking but they are not getting poorer. You see, Saturn punishes them differently. It's not that he won't punish them. He will punish them, but in a different manner. He will harm, because the poor person, Saturn might be sitting in the 6th house, 10th house, 1st house, 2nd house, the houses of labor. So his aspects is in different houses, so it affects that house. But the rich person, Saturn is not sitting in the 6th house, so he will be treated differently. He will be punished differently. That's for sure that he will punish, because that's his department to punish. He has the legal department in his house, judgment. He is not police. Police is Mars. Saturn is the judge. So irrespective of who you are, it has the most significance on your horoscope after Rahu and Ketu. So it's always important to consider Saturn first, then see the other planets. I always see the 3 planets first, then the other 6 planets. I will move to the next level with the other planets. It's like that. So everyone has to follow the same theory, the same procedure, same path which I am doing, because what I tend to do is simplify things and solve every problem first, rather than you won't be getting any results. If suppose a tank is leaked somewhere, no matter how much water you fill, how good or powerful that motor might be, how much water you have with you, that tank will get empty. So you need to seal that leakage first. That's how I deal with problems. I see the problem first. I don't miss. There was a saying, okay, a person was given an axe and a forest to clear. So the first day he went and he cleared 10 acres of land. The next day it was 8, the next day it was 6, the next day it was 4, the next day it was 2, and another day he couldn't cut a single tree. So his master came to him. Well, what happened? Well, my performance is going now. Well, when was the last time you sharpened your axe? So that's the thing. Most of the people, we are we are trained in the way that we overlook the problems and we tend to want the fruits first. Everyone is taking the wrong approach. And we have a herd theory. Everyone, even the astrologers, have a herd theory. Whatever one is saying, the other will follow the path. He will talk in the same resonance, same frequency, even if it's wrong. And it gets resonated to everyone in the same way. And I prefer to be the person who is against that current. It's always easy to flow with the current. I would have become more famous in a very short time duration. But I don't want that short term glamour. I'm not here to glamorize my astrology. I am here to give perfect results. I am a person who have remedies which can give 100% result return, irrespective of the problems. They have to be followed perfectly. So many people who are asking me, I don't deny them, but it's not possible to write in YouTube because it takes a lot of time to explain the procedures. Even here, I fail to explain all the procedures of chanting mantras. When you all call me, talk with me, you all will understand how much it takes. What are the procedures? It's just not that you get up in the morning and start chanting Mahamrityunjaya. You can't do it like that. It's not your day-to-day affair. Lord Shiva is not your girlfriend. Even when you go and meet your girlfriend, you dress up properly, then you meet. You give importance to your girlfriend. So you should give importance to Lord Shiva also. Even if he is the most kind-hearted deity, he is the one who gives the result the most. And I think most of the problems, if you don't have any issue visiting a Shivling, visit a Shivling and offer water. If you don't have milk and any other thing, don't count anything, not even Bel Patri. Go and offer water every day from Monday to Sunday, 7 days a week. Every problem will be taken care of. Don't chant any mantra. Rahu, Ketu, Shani, Surya, Mangal, Shukra, Guru, Buddha, everything will be taken care. Just visit Shiva, Shivling, water. If you can't do anything. For moon also we are doing it. For Saturn also we are doing it. For sun also you can do that. That's because that's Ek Omkar. Why Shivlinga? Why not Shiv statue? Because that is, what to say, the form where we haven't given him a form, a figure. If you are not giving him a body, that means you are not binding his powers. He is in a full form in that Shivlinga. When you make a statue of Shiva, the power diminishes. So Shivling has the maximum power. That's why when we construct a temple with many deities, the Garbhagriha, the center of that area, we place a Shivlinga, Brahmasthan, because that's the maximum energy. Even in Vastu, in houses, we used to keep open the courtyard in the center area, because that's the Brahmastan. Energy is too much. So nowadays, because of less space, we are constructing in that place. But it's always better avoid to stay in that. Don't have a bedroom in that place. Why? You see, Vastu is numerology and astrology. They are correlated. They go hand in hand. You can't separate one thing from the other. You can't separate one deity from the other. You have to understand the whole universe in totality. Even if you are rich, the corona hit at a time when no one thought of something like that happening. 100 years back it was easier to think, but at this century, corona hit and everyone has to sit in their house. Even the rich had to sit. They had never imagined. We have AC, we have everything, no? That's how God is. He shows. So, have respect for the universe. Don't follow astrologers. Follow your inner intuition. I don't pray to any god actually. Even when I visit a temple, I bow my head, but I never ask for anything. Most of the people teach me, okay, you need to ask for that god. I said, never ask. If he is God, he will know that you need that thing. And if you are begging, you are going to him as a beggar. Imagine your position. I am not egoistic. No, I won't ask because I am too egoistic. No, it's not ego. Because I have a belief, I have a faith in that God. He will know, no? He will save me. I am giving everything. I am giving myself to God. And what is there to ask back? You have to give yourself fully. I don't fear anything, okay, God will punish me. When I have surrendered myself, there's no ego left. Even Saturn wants that thing. Even Jupiter wants that thing. So when I surrender to Saturn, he says, okay, when he is an astrologer, I doesn't want him to do his job. I am creating hurdles for him. But he has surrendered in front of me. Okay, leave it. I don't want to do astrology. That's my catch. If you won't let me, I won't do. I have no issue. I am not asking you to open my gates. Okay, it's fine. You don't want me to do that karma. He is denying me that karma. Okay, don't do. I am sitting nicely. It's fine. When they are denying me, why I should open that, go and push that gate? He will decide. No, he is there to decide that thing. He has been given that job to decide. So why I should bother myself? I have that faith even in Saturn. I have that faith even in my enemies. Because many a times when I am talking about myself, what happens? Many people argue with me. Okay, what do you expect from the other people? I say, if the other person, I have a lot many enemies. So if they have an interest, they will fight with me. They will want profit. And if they are not earning anything with that fight, from that fight with me, they will themselves leave. No? If they are not winning, if they are not getting any leverage from that fight, they themselves will leave that fight. Why I should bother myself? My job is to stay in my position, irrespective of who is my enemy. I have to fight because that's my karma. He is doing his karma and he will have a brain also. I don't bother myself. When he has come to fight with me, I will let him speak whatever he feels like. And if every time he comes and he says, okay, I am not getting any profit fighting with this guy, why? I don't have to go to Saturn, I don't have to go to Mars. Okay, punish him. I have a faith in God, but for small things you don't go to your father. For small things you don't go to your mother. You don't go to your police station. Miss Hanumanji is the police station. For smaller matter, if someone slaps you and I want to launch an FIR. Every day you won't go to a police station to launch an FIR for every small matter. Someone said something badly to you. So that's how you don't go to God also every day for asking everything. okay, God punish him. That's not the way. He is saying, no, he wanted that person to say some bad word. That's why he said that to you. That was in your karmic cycle. Either he is repaying his debt to you, or you were indebted to him, something like that. After something bad happens, something good will also happen. That's how cycle goes. Everything can't be the same for every day. Have faith in God, in every God. Even if it's Rahu, it has a purpose. It's greed. Even if it's Ketu, it's denying something, it has a purpose. Even if that purpose is negative. So understand. So basically, you see, whenever people are writing in my YouTube videos, I feel very much delighted with that. I'm very happy. There's no issue. Everyone is open to ask me, free of cost also. And if you all want an elaborate detail, then call me in my number and pay me and take that service from me. See, if my charges are high, that's for sure. But I assure things. You don't have to pay for the whole year. Even if you don't want, don't pay me for your entire life. Pay once, that's enough. If you don't have that much of money, even if you have that much money and you don't want to pay me, that's also fine. You come to me, take my services, whatever you feel like, you pay that much money. I'm that much flexible, because if Saturn is denying that much money, I don't bother about those things. He is there to do the justice. I'm not creating any fear in anyone's mind. I am saying, oh, he decides. No, let him decide. And if you have a clear mind, good mind, that's fine. And if you are going to cheat me, that's your destiny. I'm not here to look upon. When I go through a horoscope, I know that certain people, there are many people who come to me and cheat. I know after looking into horoscope that he will be cheating me, because he doesn't have faith in that guru, or his Rahu is bad, or his Mercury is bad, or whatever planet is, Venus is bad. So he has a tendency to cheat me. He will do that thing because he is habituated with that. I can't change every person. Many people use bad words for me. Okay, you are like this, you are cheating, you are portraying as a sannyasi or sadhu, and you are bluffing things. So many people have many aspects of life, no? It hardly matters. Whatever view you may be having regarding me or anyone else, I can't change that view. Good or bad, whatever I am. So I can't change everyone's perspective regarding me. I'm not here to change people's thought process. I'm here to do astrology. Whosoever feels like, he can consult. Whosoever doesn't want to pay a single penny also can contact me personally. I leave it up to you, on your own consciousness, inner conscious. Everyone is open to contact. I'm available. I never sleep before 1 a.m. in the night, and I get up at times even in 7 a.m., at times at 8 p.m. Because if I sleep late at 3 a.m. in the night, that day I might get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I hardly sleep. I sleep for 4 or 5 hours. So I'm always available if I don't have a work, because I run a school, a charitable trust. So I'm the chairman, so I run that school. So I have a lot many duties regarding that school also. The construction is going on, so I'm spending a lot of time. So my videos are not coming regularly. So once that construction gets completed, most probably before 1st July. So after 1st July, you all will see more videos of mine. Then I will be entering the core issues actually. Now I'm just going on the touching just the top layer of that problem. I'm not going deep, because for going deep we need to create an atmosphere also. So slowly the level of those videos will increase, the intensity of videos also will increase, everything will increase. My viewers will also get matured more. They will start understanding the way I try to teach people. I don't teach in the way the teachers teach actually. I am a Libra, so I tend to take people as at par with me, miss. I take them as friends. That's my first catch. I'm a friend to everyone, irrespective of the age. Because being a Libra, we do that thing. We are not Leos. We are not the leader of the. We don't stand on a top position. When I'm a leader, I will be sitting with the workers. I don't lead by becoming their master. I just become their companion. So that's the difference between a Leo leader and a Libra leader. So in astrology also I follow the same path. I try to tend to talk with people. Okay, you understand astrology, no? Okay, that's fine. So you see, that's not the way actually. It's like this. I will try to clarify y'all, because y'all also have that. So many people might be knowing a lot many things. It's just because y'all are not able to get through that thing up till the mark of getting a remedy for yourself. It gets confused. Okay, when astrology is a complicated phenomenon, what to leave and what to take, and what remedies you will do, and which will actually help. It's well, that shows, that's the, what to say, importance of having that practical knowledge. There is a story regarding a shipwreck. An engineer was consulted. He was an old engineer, and he came. He took out a hammer and knocked somewhere, and that ship started working. The engine started working. So he charged a hefty amount. For what? That using that hammer and knocking. No, that's for knowing where to knock and make that engine work. So that's experience. I charge for that experience. There are thousands of mantras. There are 9 gemstones. What will you wear and what you shouldn't wear? I know the plus and minus. You will have a short circuit if you wear the wrong gemstone, and that short circuit would ruin your whole life. You might end up choosing a wrong career, wrong path, and you might have been following that for 20 years. Imagine. I can guide you. Okay, you are going on the wrong path. That's where experience counts. So understand everything. Understand astrology. If you are not thorough with the thing, it's not because I never thought of being an astrologer. I was in some different field. But I was always doing palmistry from my childhood only. I know a lot many things. If my vehicle broke down at the middle of the road, I know how to make that work. I never thought of becoming an engineer, mechanical engineer or mechanic. But I know how to do that. No one can fool me. Okay, Maharaji, you don't know these things. Many people, the last days, I and another sannyasi, we were in the ATM, we were trying to generate the PIN. That was a new ATM card. So a lady came, she said, okay, I need to use that ATM. There were 2 other machines. Oh, I said, okay, use that. Then we moved to another ATM. She said, do you need any help? I told that person, okay, the sannyasi with me, okay, she doesn't know that I am an MBA pass person. And we are how much educated. He is also graduate, he is also well educated, that sannyasi. But since we are looking like this, people think, oh, we are not educated enough. I know hardware of computer, software of computer. The ATM machine was not impossible for me to handle. I know more than what she knew. But because of our looks, people tend to make that mistake. Everyone expects, okay, he's a, this type of person, so he might be speaking in Hindi. But my Hindi is poor, my English is fine. Don't compartmentalize things. Don't put people in segments. You don't have to segment yourself also. Okay, I can't learn this thing because that's of no relevance. Everything is of relevance to everyone. Every knowledge is fruitful to you. You have to understand where to put that in use. I have a saying regarding Panchatantra stories also. The stories were told 1,000 years or 2,000 years back. They are still significant. Read those Panchatantra, Jatak Kathas. They are even important and they are relevant in today's time also. And they will be relevant even after 1,000 years from today. You have to understand how to implement those things. Astrology has not lost its essence, but you have to understand how to implement that same astrology. Now, no knowledge is bad. You have to understand how to use it in a better way for the mankind. That's why a person as educated as me is doing astrology. I have studied in convent school. I should have become a Christian. I have read Bible. Till date I haven't read Bhagavad Gita. Because I was in the convent school, every year the church people used to come and they used to distribute Bible. So I used to read Bible. I haven't converted into Christianity. I'm still a strong Hindu. Dharmo rakshati rakshata. Because I could understand when I have read Bible, it is very layman language. And when you read up Upanishads, Purans, every text of Indian origin, they have a lot many things to teach actually. They have explained, the Rishi Munis have explained those things. When you do astrology also, you have to read a lot many things. Without reading, you won't be understanding the Vedas. Until unless you are not well versed with Vedas, even if I haven't read, but I have listened to many people talking about those things. Okay, this comes from this Ved, this comes from this mantra comes from this book, this Upanishad, Upanishads. So have a habit, have an open mind. Nothing is bad. Until unless you don't read, you don't understand. Okay, I am also modern. I used to wear jeans and t-shirts. I used to wear suit. I used to wear woodland shoes. I always used to wear woodland shoes. So, but now I don't wear that. So, time has changed. My age has changed. You always never remain a young kid. You grow. When you are small, you wear half pant. But when you grow old, you don't wear half pants. I am growing. Everyone is growing. You can't remain the same your whole life. So, have an open mind. Until unless you all don't have an open mind, you all won't be able to decipher things. Try to solve your own problems. For bigger problems, consult me. That's how things go. Have a positive outlook, positive view on everything. Even Islam is not bad. Even Christianity is not bad. Have respect for other people also. They are Saturn, the Muslims. Christianity is Rahu. Think about it. An hour is less for me to speak. That's why somehow I sum up in an hour. It's tough for me actually. I will speak about Islam, Saturn in another video. Because that needs a lot of work to explain. Islam is itself not a bad religion. The way some people are portraying Islam is bad. Everyone is not Islam. If the negative people are portraying Islam, they are not the bosses of Islam. They are hijacking the good Islam. They are encashing the good name and they are spoiling the good name. They are spoiling Saturn. They are annoying Saturn. That's why they are getting killed. They are getting punished. You can't use his name. Islam is Saturn. Take my words. And that will be for another video. Take care of yourself, everybody. see you all in my next video. That's all for the day. Have a nice day and enjoy the weather. And try to think positively. That's the call of the day from me. Thank you. Have a nice day.